Hi everyone, Dr. Lauren Gresham here at Nutima Integrative Medicine. I am continuing my series on things that I'm doing as a naturopathic physician to protect my family from the coronavirus. I felt that it's really important to include a disclaimer, which is basically that these are things that I'm doing for my family. These are things that are based off of my own biases. I believe nature has antimicrobial properties and immune boosting properties. But none of the things I'm saying are meant to supersede recommendations from the World Health Organization or the CDC. And ultimately, I would advise you, viewers, to realize that none of us really know specifically plants, nutraceuticals, drugs, or even vaccines that are yet effective for this particular type of coronavirus. The things I'm referencing are things that have been researched for other strains of coronaviruses, and whether they will cross over or not, it's too early to know. They're things that help me feel proactive in my life. They're things I feel comfortable with, and therefore that's why I implement them. And what you choose to do, ultimately, I hope that you're working with your healthcare providers, listening to professional organizations, and making your own choices. Anyways, so in addition to my immune boosting Jello recipe, as well as essential oils to help support my family, the other thing that I'm doing is making them licorice tea. So licorice is the root Glycyrrhiza glabra. As you might have guessed, it is what the flavor in black licorice, like where we get that flavor from. So if you dislike that flavor, this might not be a recommendation that you personally can apply in your own life. But for those of us that don't mind the flavor, licorice does have some pretty great research on helping with different viral infections. In fact, in 2007, there was a review article where researchers looked at a whole bunch of different studies comparing licorice and its antiviral effect on a bunch of viruses, including hepatitis B, hepatitis C, HIV, herpes, including chickenpox virus, and a whole bunch of other ones, including the coronavirus responsible for SARS. So in the article, they summarized some research that was conducted in Germany in 2002 with SARS patients. They collected viral samples from the patients, and then they looked to see a variety of different compounds that were exposed, which had the best antiviral effects. And a particular compound in licorice, glycyrrhizin, outperformed all the other compounds in both inhibiting the ability of the virus to absorb, like to get into new cells, as well as viral replication. It outperformed. So that was really cool. So for me, like that's a pretty simple, low-hanging fruit thing that I can do. The researchers also found that the licorice was most effective when it was both before the virus entered the cells and after the virus entered the cells, if licorice was given, which to me, I kind of summarize that to mean like, just keep drinking it, keep drinking the tea, which again is a total inference. We don't actually know yet clinically if that's going to prove to be true. But again, none of us in this household mind the taste of licorice. So in order to make a therapeutic cup of tea, people need to use about a tablespoon of dried herb to 8 ounces of water. An average tea bag is about a teaspoon of dried herbs. So if it was just like a box of tea, you could use 3 tea bags. Because Glycyrrhiza licorice is a root, it's unlike flowers and leaves. Flowers and leaves want to be lightly infused. Roots benefit from a little bit of boiling because it's like hard plant material. And then just drinking that some is something that I'm going to be offering my family. A few other kind of disclaimers about licorice is that it has the compound glycyrrhizin has the ability to increase cortisol in our body, or it kind of has like cortisol-like effects. And that means that for some people who are suffering from hypertension, from high blood pressure, it can increase their high blood pressure. So that's something to monitor. That's something that's not appropriate for everyone. That's something that I hope that if you're watching this video, you would discuss with your own personal doctor to make sure that that's an appropriate herb for you. Furthermore, because it has cortisol-like effects, it acts kind of like a steroid hormone, which for me personally, being 21 weeks pregnant, things that act hormonally like are not really recommended. Different texts say in pregnancy that licorice is fine. Other texts say it's not fine. I tend to be ultra conservative about that. It's my first pregnancy. I just want everything to go smooth. I'm already having to deal with, an epidemic. So I'm just laying low and being conservative, and I am not personally drinking the licorice tea. But But I think there's a lot of herbalists that would be shaking their heads at me and would not appreciate what I'm saying. And there's lots of people that are using it in pregnancy. So at the end of the day, I hope that you are working with your own healthcare providers and coming up with the best treatment plans that are appropriate for you. I do not intend this as medical advice. It's just a little PSA. There is some clinical research. There are some published studies showing that licorice root can be helpful for viral infections, including coronavirus type infections. And that's my tip of the day for you. I hope that's helpful. Please remember, Nutima Integrative Medicine is available for telemedicine visits. So if you do have questions, if you need support, if you're freaking out and you want us to help you develop a plan, we're of course available to serve your healthcare needs. Okay, have a great day, everyone. Stay safe out there. Bye.